right, we'll do a little recap for everybody, and welcome to our new members, Sean and Jeff. You go by Jeff or Jeffrey?
Jeff is fine.
All right. So, little update on what has happened thus far. Our heroes have been tasked with uncovering the Nazi plot to retrieve items of supernatural origin by their handler, General Happy Sam Sawyer. After striking a bargain with Amul Farouk, the Shadow King of the Cairo Underground, the heroes confronted the horsemen of Insabanur, the apocalyptic pharaoh in the sands outside of the city, returning to Farouk with the opal of Ozymandias. Farouk utilized the precognitive powers of the stone to uncover the identities of the items that Hitler is after. And they include the Amulet of Pazuzu, the Le Marchand box or Lament configuration, and the book known as the Necronomicon. Farouk foretold that their journey would begin on cobblestone streets, awash with blood, leading the team to believe that their next step in their travels would lead them to Whitechapel, the scene of the gruesome murders attributed to Jack the Ripper half a century ago. This is now where we find our heroes as they check into their hotel and are introduced to two new members of the squad. An attractive Irish lass by the name of Maeve Murray, and our newest player here, Shelley, what was her name again? Shelley Ames. Very tall, attractive, leggy blonde. And so those of you that were in Cairo prior to this, right before you guys got on the plane to come over here, you were alerted to the fact that once you got to the hotel in Whitechapel, you would be meeting two new members that would be joining the team. And they came with recommendations from a member of British intelligence by the name of Peggy Carter. So you guys have arrived in Whitechapel at this point, and the hotel that that Sam has set you up in is called the Stepney Green. It's maybe not a 4-star hotel, but it's adequate. It's definitely better than the little mom and pop shop that you guys stayed at in Cairo. When you guys arrive, you spot the two ladies that are sitting there in the lobby waiting for you to arrive. So I'll turn it over to you guys to introduce yourselves, and we can move on from there.
We introducing ourselves to Agent Carter or to each other?
To each other. Carter is not there.
Okay. How the veteran X is I guess you would say a rather brawny guy, probably about 6'2", blonde hair, good looking, maybe got a little bit of a goofy grin on his face, carrying a large duffel bag with all kinds of weird angles sticking out of it, wearing an olive drab, shirt tucked in. Yeah, that's about all.
Well, the human tank is looking extremely human. Basic, Army corporal's uniform. This being, merry old England, probably has a pint or two in front of him and some chips. He raises a glass. Hello. I was stationed here. Yeah, now I'm doing a British accent. I was stationed here for a while. Before we shipped out to Africa, and also now that we've shipped back, and the whole bit in between with the Germans, that was less fun. They got crap beer. Don't believe what you hear. This stuff's warm, but it'll do. So, who is the new one, Sean? Flux?
Yes, Flux.
So you're the new one. You missed our whole little dust up there with stuff out of the Mummy's tomb and all them other movies.
Flux, you see Flux also having a pint. She's Irish after all, so
Oh yeah.
That's in her
Sorry.
second nature. Yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't given the go ahead to be it, or at least I wasn't, by Agent Carter prior to your little dust up, as you say.
Yeah, well, they probably lost the telegram somewhere. That happens. Right way, wrong way, army way.
Yes, you aren't necessarily looking for expediency when you're dealing with the military on any level.
Which is unfortunate because, from what I understand, this is one of those things that has a bit of a tight deadline on it. We gotta, beat Schickelgruber to the stuff.
Well, that's why they're sending us instead of the military. Is it not?
Well, I mean, technically, I'm still in the army.
I'm sorry, dear.
I just got some sort of, special, extended, enhanced, independent. Oh, I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's Form 27B3.
I don't know what any of that means.
Neither do I.
So we're in our travel clothes, right? We're not in any kind of gear, I guess.
I would assume so. Yes.
Yeah. So Hank is in kind of some very regular travel clothes for the day. Let's see. So we're going over there. So jacket, hat, slacks. I mean, he's very dressed down. He does have a sack, like a rucksack kind of thing, and he is a relatively fit guy. Of average height, a little over average, well, about average, I suppose, 5'10", 5'11", but no military bearing at all, right? Very bookish. I mean, he does look around, but none of those things, and so he says hello as he comes in. This is only, well, I suppose it is a military operation, but not all of us are in the military. Some of us are just consultants.
I don't know what I am, but they're paying me, so I'm here.
Well, you guys have had time to check into your rooms at this point, and you pretty much, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage here because other than knowing, kind of what you're looking for, you kind of really don't know where to begin. All you know at this point is that your journey is to begin somewhere here in Whitechapel, and somehow it's connected to Jack the Ripper.
Bizarre.
Didn't he if we ran into him today, wouldn't he be kind of old? I mean, that was like Queen Victoria, which I think was let me see, that would have been probably like about the American Revolution, I think.
Maybe he's a vampire.
I was gonna say don't be ridiculous, but I just remembered we fought mummies and a bull guy, and I turned into a human tank.
Oh dear.
So
Don't forget about the Minotaur in the pyramid.
Yeah, bull guy.
And the actual
Bull
vampire.
guy, yes. Sir.
Mummies like Abbott and Costello?
Yeah, something like that.
Hopefully
Yeah,
I'm getting my
exactly.
time periods right.
Yeah.
I think.
And the actual vampire.
I heard Jack the Ripper was a doctor. Maybe that'll help.
Out of character, Sean knows next to nothing about Jack the Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
Being from Ireland, what would Flux know?
I mean, she would know kind of the basics of, Jack. It would have been roughly about 50 years ago when this all occurred. So it was certainly before she was born. But
Any copycats recently?
There's been
Been in the news?
copycats going on for years since the original occurrence actually took place. So most of those individuals, though, over the years have been caught and prosecuted at this point. So as far as currently, um, why don't you make a intuition roll for me?
It's a green.
In a green. Okay. There has been something in the news recently that you recall that there was an incident here in Whitechapel of a man who attacked some people at a local pub that claimed to be Jack the Ripper. But this was written off as basically a madman that was trying to make a name for himself in some manner. You seem to recall that there were a couple of police officers that were on scene at the time that he was making these claims, and both of those individuals perished in the confrontation.
I relay as such. In an Irish accent.
Do we have a bit of downtime yet? No, Chris?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
okay.
you do. Mm-hmm.
Like I did when I get a chance, I don't know if that's now, but like I did before, I want to do a little reconnaissance, right? A little astral projection reconnaissance of the city, just to see if there's anything especially, notable
Okay,
that stands out.
sure. So if you
That-
go into your astral form and take a little bit of a quick tour around Whitechapel, seedy by any standards, Whitechapel is still a crime-ridden, sordid quarter where hordes of residents live in abject poverty. It's an area of doss houses, sweatshops, abattoirs, overcrowded slums, pubs, a few shops and warehouses, leavened with a row or two of respectably kept cottages.
Don't forget the brothels.
And brothels. Lots and lots of brothels. Whitechapel houses London's worst slums, and the poverty of its inhabitants is disturbing. Malnutrition and disease is once again on the rise after having only been slightly remedied at the turn of the century. The back-to-back world wars have held back progress in this area of London. Within the claustrophobic streets of Whitechapel exist three classes of individuals. The poor, the builders, laborers, shopkeepers, dock workers, and tailors, and the very poor, women and children who make wages as seamstresses, weavers, or clothes washers, and the homeless, living in a permanent state of deprivation. Whitechapel stands as the immigrant district due in part to the large influx of Jewish, Irish, and Russian transports. The potato famine had seen a large influx of Irish immigrants in the mid-1800s, along with the Jewish population who arrived in thousands, whilst fleeing persecution in Russia, Germany, and Poland. In only a single decade, the Jewish population has risen to over 50,000. This number has increased steadily with the strengthening Nazi regime. With so many different nationalities in one place, they all have one thing in common. Every day is a struggle for survival. There's a lot of overcrowding and a shortage of housing, and that's created the abyss that is known as Whitechapel. For most of the population in the East End, one lived and died in the same neighborhood in which they were born, and hope was in short supply. Whitechapel is a maze of entries, alleyways and courtyards, all lit by single gas lamps, giving about 6 feet of light that are at times so thick that you struggle to see your own hand in front of your face. Sanitation is practically non-existent, and people throw their raw sewage onto the street, making the stench of the whole district unbearable. It seems like it would be a world in which Jack the Ripper would still have no problem in finding a victim. But as you are going across the streets in your astral form, you see little bits of crime happening here and there in varying degrees, but nothing so blatant as a murder happening on the streets while you're making your pass. Give me a quick intuition roll there, Johnny.
Okay. Hang on one second.
Yeah. Oh, hey. This is the first time this has come up.
Hey! 69.
Okay. You got a 69.
Hey!
We started playing this game when I was in high school. Or actually, I think I started when I was about 8th grade, but we really came into our own in high school. And being the teenagers that we were, 69 was a very funny number.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime
We're all in high
anybody
school when
rolls,
69 comes
right?
On
Yeah.
on some level, we're all still 12.
Yep.
So one of my house rules is anytime anybody rolls a 69 or a 100, if you roll that 3 times in one session, so 3 times tonight, a 69 or a 100, if you roll 3 of them, you get a wish.
Oh, wow.
And it can be anything like adding a new power or bumping up a stat 1 level or something like that. So you can be creative, and it has happened. So keep track of your 69s and 100s.
So you're saying
Okay.
keep track of our body count.
Right. Okay. So with your 69, that is an ultimate success there, sir. There is one
Thank you.
thing that certainly stands out as you're traversing Whitechapel in your astral form, and it's something that you always seem to be drawn to, good sir, and that is a bookstore.
Hey, there you go. Well, that's fortunate.
And this particular bookstore is called Panpipes. And by the look of it, and if you kind of pass into the building itself, it seems to be an occult bookstore.
Oh, well, even better. Okay, so okay. All right. So I, having found it, and I guess what drew my attention to it?
Probably just the fact, number one, that it was a bookstore, and you're like, ooh, books.
Yeah.
And then just kind of peeking in for a moment,
Yeah.
you can really see that this certainly has a little bit of a kind of a dark aspect to the types of tomes that are in this bookstore. When you pass through, you see an older gentleman there, and I'll see if I can pull up a picture here for you real quick. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, no, I don't have it. Okay, well, anyway, he is an older gentleman that is bald-headed, looks to be maybe in his upper 70s, perhaps early 80s. Bald and wrinkled, and wearing a pair of thin eyeglasses. And as you pass through, he looks up and looks directly at you in your astral form and kind of gives a little nod.
Okay. Well, I suppose that could happen from time to time, perhaps a coincidence. Okay, well, it is an occult bookstore.
Mm-hmm. That one would.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going. I'll make note of where that is,
Mhm.
and then I'll come back when I'm a little more physical.
Okay.
And then I'll tell the group about it, but
So,
that's definitely a place we should check out.
logistically,
Especially
did you
'cause-
just kind of belly up to the bar and then go away for a little bit, or did you go
yeah,
upstairs?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I probably went to go check my bags or whatever,
Okay.
and then having done my astral projection, I'll come back to my body unless anything else grabs my attention, and then I'll come back. I'll come back down to the bar where everyone else is, and I'll listen quietly for a few minutes, and then see if there's a gap in the conversation. Having found said gap, I'll say so. I don't. So we haven't met this Agent Carter, right?
That's
We
correct.
only met the general.
Yep. Mhm.
So
Actually, Dreamslayer, you put a note in my thing about Agent Carter potentially being my superior officer.
Right. Yeah. Now
So-
you certainly know her, yes.
Yes.
But the
Well,
the ones
I'm
that
sorry,
have
I
been
mean-
playing, the ones that have been playing thus far,
Yeah.
have not
Have not met her yet. Fair enough.
yeah, I mean the other three of us, we only met the what was it, Captain General or Lieutenant General?
Captain General, General Sam Sawyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Sam.
General Sawyer. So listen, I'm not entirely sure exactly where to start or where you think we should start, but I just did a quick scan, I guess you would say, reconnoiter of the town, of this area, and I did stumble across something that I think I should check out. There's an occult bookstore, and I'll point in the general direction.
What a surprise! He's going for the bookstore again.
Wait, you left?
Listen,
I didn't even
gentlemen,
see you move.
Well, I was up in my room for a few minutes, but it doesn't take long. But gentlemen, you have your specialties. I have mine.
Ahem.
Well, he's saying it to the gentleman
Oh.
that he's been working with. He's just met the two ladies, so
I wonder if it'd be possibly advisable to get the lay of the land from the locals.
well, certainly.
I mean, Mr. Ripper is known to be targeting women now, would he not?
I think it's exclusively women, isn't it? I'm no expert on that.
They made us watch a movie about the kind of women and that hang around these places and how we shouldn't get near them. Yeah, I never really paid attention to movies. So,
But my particular talents would probably lean very well towards me going in undercover.
what
these
exactly is it you do for this little team?
She takes a quick look around, makes sure no one's looking, and then facially she turns into you for 2 seconds. And then she
Okay,
changes back.
That is something I never want to see happen again, especially with a woman. But yeah, I see your point. Yes, very much so. Yeah, you are definitely going to be good for you doing the sneaky stuff. I'm not so much on the sneaky or the thinky. I kind
Do
of
you think this cult bookstore might have some comic books?
Hey, you got a point there.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would say off the top of my head, no. But
Cultists like comic
I would
books,
say
right?
with that 69 that you got, I think you might have actually spotted a little box over in the corner.
Oh, okay,
had
yes,
some,
all right.
Possibly
independent-
more pulp magazines.
Yeah.
Like Doc
Yeah.
Savage, The Shadow, things of that nature.
I would
Let's
love some
see.
Doc Savage and Shadow, actually. And according to my list here, we have Mary Marvel, actually should be available, and Doofy Duck.
Okay. You know what? Actually, I now that you ask and now that I think about it, I think I did see a rack, a small box, a small selection over
Yeah,
there
I think we
in
should
the
check
corner.
out this cult bookstore.
I turn to Shelley. So, how do you feel about joining me and being a little bit of bait?
Sure. Just let me finish this delicious. I don't know what they call it, but it's fabulous. Finishes her drink. It's probably like the fourth one.
I am very impressed.
Okay, what are we?
Probably made by German immigrants.
You may want to we may want to find some clothes for you that are a little bit more appropriate for the people who are going to be walking amongst.
I'm sure on our way to the bookstore we can find a clothing store. Since you're trying to be someone kind of poor, I would recommend a thrift shop. It's where most of my my brothers got their clothing. So
Yeah, I'm used to playing dress up. That's all I've done for the last who knows how long.
Okay.
And then she stands up and she's about 6 feet tall.
That's tall.
Sometime before we go, Flux will return to her room, and then out of the room will walk a nondescript person looking like a person from the wrong side of the tracks.
Male or female?
Female.
Okay.
Last I checked, our Jack the Ripper types aren't interested in men. As she walks through, she'll go up to the human tank. I don't remember real name. Your character name, Sarah Thread, and go. Good evening. We ready?
Hi.
We ready?
yeah.
It's Flux's voice, but her not just her body has changed, but her clothes have changed as well.
Okay, so it looks like we don't need to bother with finding a thrift store.
Well, we may need one for Shelley here.
Oh yeah.
I am hard to fit these days.
Oh, these days?
Well, there was a bit of an accident, you see. I wasn't always this tall.
I see. There are a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
How does an accident make you taller?
That is a really good question.
I can answer that. I mean, it was sort of an accident because I really don't think Zima wanted to make me taller. But accidents can make you taller. If you've been paying any attention to the news that's in the comics that are actually licensed, lots of things can make you. Lots of accidents are happening these days.
Oh. Hey.
I think it had something to do with the weird chemicals.
Oh yeah. When chemicals get involved, well, now that I think about it, it wasn't an accident.
As opposed
taller too.
As opposed to the normal chemicals.
Yes, or so I'm told. I honestly am not very sure.
A lot of chemicals that happen. Well, if we're all ready, I think that I can lead us to the place.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
If I sit here much longer, I'm gonna pickle myself.
All right, well, you're able to traverse the streets and retrace your steps, and you find yourself back at the Panpipes bookstore. When you enter in through the front door, a little bell dings to announce your arrival. And as you recall, the bookstore is filled with Gothic and Victorian horror novels, black magic tomes and other books on the occult and the dark arts. You see the old man behind the counter, and he's got the spectacles on his forehead at this point, and he greets you as you enter. And he spots you in particular. Forgot your name, Mr. Arcane.
Yeah.
And he says, "Welcome back. 'Tis good to see you in the flesh."
Well, I suppose that would fit, wouldn't it? Thank you. You've got. So I'll look around and kind of, as I'm talking to him, kind of scanning the titles. And do these look like legit volumes, or is this all like snake oil, kind of like hogwash? Is this,
He's got some pretty fine works here, actually.
Okay.
I mean, nothing like too crazy, but I mean, good old books.
Okay.
And many of them actually, are, geared more towards individuals like yourself, that may have some knowledge of the arcane arts.
Okay. So you've got a fine establishment here and many fine works. And so it would, I suppose I'm not very surprised that we share a profession, it appears. I also am a purveyor of books. You've never heard of it. It's far from here. But what do you have? My friend here is looking for some stories. He went over at that, actually.
Oh, yes. I've got a bit of the comic books over there in the corner.
Okay. Yeah, Vedex heads over there quickly.
I'm just gonna sort of mosey in that direction.
But
I don't suppose there's a Cosmo or a Vogue around.
No Cosmo or Vogue.
I don't think Cosmo was around then. Vogue might
It was. I just checked.
I think
Vogue, both 1890s
like a
publications.
Short story and fiction magazine.
I think Vedex may have found some Miss America magazine.
Yeah, see, those are the real ones. They got licenses. I read it.
So
Flux actually will not be in the store. She's kind of keeping it in her guise.
Mm-hmm.
She's keeping an eye out outside of the store. You never know when someone will just walk up on you.
Sure. Okay.
And hopefully you have some way of, getting others out there if, anything goes wrong. You never know when you're going to need 7 feet of, armored guy.
She would respond to you amongst yourselves. Just listen for the ass kicking.
I'll do that.
Right. Well, so as he looks around, and I mean, I suppose Hank is looking for some books to buy, but also he's like, I'm sure you can tell that I'm not from here, but sorry. But so I mean, you've got a bit of a reputation here. This your town, your borough, what township? Whitechapel.
A borough would be the most appropriate, yes. So you visited my shop earlier, yes?
Mm-hmm. I would deny it, but I think it would be dishonest. So yes, I did. Yes.
What brings you and your companions here?
Oh, we are seekers, I suppose you would say. We, in our own way, are trying to. Well, it's all quite complicated, but we are seekers of rare
comic books.
Okay, sure, rare comic books, but seekers of rare artifacts.
That sounds very interesting. Yes.
I mean, perhaps. I mean, being perhaps being an arcane sort of person yourself, maybe, I don't know, maybe you've heard some rumors. I mean, we have resources to spend. Um, we're looking for several things. A box.
Hmm.
Let's see. And a statuette, like an
Book.
icon.
One of them was a book.
And a book.
She'll say helpfully.
Yes. I was, leading up to the book.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that thing's
Sorry.
not going to be just laying around.
Well,
God, I hope it's not just laying around.
I am a purveyor of many things. Most of the things that I sell are what you see here in this shop, but for a member of the arcane profession, I would be willing to share information. What most specifically are you looking for?
I'm sorry. We didn't. Do we introduce ourselves?
No.
Well, I'm Shelly Ames, and she'll go up and she'll offer her hand.
I'm Corporal McDougal. You can call me Jake.
Sorry, introductions. That's fair. My name is Henry. You please call me Hank Armstrong. And among other things, I have a bookshop of my own back in the States. So nice to meet you.
Well, Edward Wingate, a pleasure to meet all of you, and I welcome you to my shop. Now, do tell me, what are these items in which you are in search of?
Well, there's let's see. It's well.
We're looking for. I remember
box.
we got some kind of Coptic staff and the spear. Spear of density. I think it was.
Not density.
Well, the three items that you guys have been keyed in on by Farouk were the Amulet of Pazuzu.
Amulet, sorry.
The Lamarchand box and the Necronomicon were the three that you're specifically now in search of.
Yeah, why do I have the other ones written down? Were those things Hitler's already found?
Those were things that they believe that he may already be in possession of.
Okay, so I just took very quick notes and I lost some context. Okay.
Yeah, supposedly he may have already found those. But the ones we're looking for are the Amulet of Pazuzu, the Lamarchand's box, and the Necronomicon. Which I didn't think that was real, but
oh yes, it certainly is real. The Necronomicon Ex Mortis is the official name. The Necronomicon Ex Mortis, also known as the Book of the Dead and Naturum Demonto. It is an ancient magical tome written by an unknown author utilizing human flesh as its bindings and blood as the ink. Written in the book are prophecies, funerary incantations, and demon resurrection passages. It is unknown how many copies and variations of the Necronomicon are written, but at least 3 are known to exist. Legend has it that the Necronomicon Ex Mortis can not only awaken demonic entities and awaken the dead, but it can also open up a rift through space and time. Now, these other items that you speak of, this Lamarchand's box, I have heard whispers of it. If you will give me a moment, I believe I may have some information here. One moment. And he starts to flip through some files in a little filing cabinet that he's got behind the desk back there.
What did he say his name was?
Wingate.
Wingate. Edward Wingate.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes, I think I have found it here. The lament configuration, or Le Marchand configuration, is one of the most notorious puzzle boxes in the world. It's
like those finger puzzles, where you have to get the two rings disconnected and you can't do it.
Probably like a blacksmith's puzzle.
A little bit more complex than that, I do believe. This box supposedly possesses the power to open the gates of hell itself. The lament configuration was built.
No, sir. Only Jesus can do that. No.
Yep. Yeah, he's right.
Well, it was built by a French toy maker, a man by the name of Philippe Le Marchand. There are two different stories about the creation of the box. It is stated that Philippe Le Marchand was a cruel and morbid man, as well as being a mass murderer who made boxes with human fat and bones with the help of a demonic assistant called Baron. The second version tells a story of a more innocent Le Marchand. He was a young man ordered to build a puzzle box at any cost. This order was placed by Duc de Lisle. He garroted a woman and used the box as a medium to let his black magic resurrect a demon named Angelique. Le Marchand's bloodline was forever cursed because of his creation. Now there was a third item, yes, the Amulet of Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Bless you.
In ancient Mesopotamian...
Can we back up one second here?
Oh, sure,
This was made by a toy maker?
Yes.
How naughty do you gotta be for Santa Claus to leave a cursed demon puzzle in your stocking?
I don't know that he's Santa adjacent.
I think you're certainly on the naughty list if you get that in your stocking.
That's way past Cole.
I hadn't misheard that.
The worst toy maker ever.
Shelly's just hugging herself as they're talking about things made out of human flesh and like bones and people being gutted. She's just like staring at this guy, like slowly backing up towards the door.
Well, I mean, there are many occurrences of cursed things and dark magic using components from human flesh, human bone. I mean, that does happen. I've never heard of this one, and well, I thought the Necronomicon was, I don't know, kind of not exactly a boogeyman, but certainly a bit of a myth. Although, ironically, we deal in myth. But
okay, as long
but
as
what about the amulet?
Don't tell me that, I don't know, like Frankenstein ain't real, right? That was something they made up.
Oh no, he's real. Well, that's not the monster's name, but yeah, that's an occurrence. That's an actual occurrence. I mean, you met a vampire. I mean, I don't know what you.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna make sure that everything's okay outside. I'll be right out there.
Check
She's
on.
just like exits stage left.
Yeah. But I don't know anything.
Flux see her walks out and goes, "Everything all right?"
Whoa. Talking about horrible things. And then she will get a mangled sort of replay, all wrong about the things and what they're made of, and just this complete mangled disaster of a retelling. That I don't know if makes it worse or better, but you get the idea that she A, doesn't remember everything the guy said, B, doesn't have a framework to connect any of those dots, and C, is quite clearly just spooked the hell out.
Flux smiles and goes, "You in the mood to hit something?"
I mean, anything to shake off the heebie-jeebies.
Flux will peek in, open the door, and just, Shelly and I are gonna go take a walk. We'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, I guess splitting the party is definitely
Oh yeah.
the order of the day. That always
it's not a
works out.
campaign until you split the party. So
Yeah,
I think maybe I should follow behind them because you guys are
Good
talking
idea.
stuff I
Let
don't
the record
understand.
show Flux is the one that's the bad influence.
Yeah. Yeah, you go
She's
ahead.
she's Irish. What do you expect?
I rock it.
Yeah, you go ahead, Tank. We'll catch up in just a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk
he's
like a
done with
little
his
enough behind
comics.
them that maybe it won't look like I'm with them because we're trying to lure this guy out, but also close enough that I can run in if I gotta.
all right. This is quite an interesting array of companions you have there.
It is. It is. Some new, some newish, but well proven. He looks over at Vedex and nods. You know, but so we're again, we're seekers, and we have been asked for good reason to find these items. And so you've told us about the box and the book, but do you know anything about the amulet? Because I've never heard of that either.
He goes back to the filing cabinet, grabs another file that he's got back there, and lays it out on the table for you. And he shows you a sketch of the Amulet of Pazuzu. It's pretty much identical to the drawing that Farouk drew on the table with the knife for you. So it immediately, rings that bell for you. And he says, in ancient Mesopotamian religion, Pazuzu was the king of demons of the wind, the brother of Humbaba and son of the god Hanbi. He represents the southwestern wind and is the bearer of storms and drought. Pazuzu has the power to invoke incredible things, beings, even monsters to visible form. He has been called the Lord of all fevers and plagues, the grinning dark angel of the four wings, horned with rotting genitalia. He is among the most fearsome of all the demonic entities and takes firm control of any host. It's been said in magical tomes, it is the able magician indeed who can remove Pazuzu once he has laid hold of a man, for Pazuzu lays hold unto death. That is one demon not to be trifled with.
I didn't hear a word you said after rotting genitalia.
Now you have
so
come.
glad that I am not there right now.
You
I'm
have
going
come
get
to.
my-
Go
get a
ahead.
Quick
Sorry.
drink of water and a snack. I will be right back.
Alrighty. You have come to Whitechapel in search of these mysterious items. I can tell you, to my knowledge, you would have much difficulty finding them here for sure. But what makes you believe that that your journey begins here in Whitechapel?
Well, a bit of a vision. And they told us to come to where the cobblestones run red with blood.
Ah, Oh.
So Whitechapel has
It's
its
not a
reputation.
compliment, dude.
now it makes more sense why you have come to my doorstep. You see, I'm a bit of an expert on old Saucy Jack.
Oh, I see.
Most
Well,
of the
that's-
folks that come through my door, as a matter of fact, want to hear tales about the leather apron, another name that the press gave old Jack. But I get the feeling by the look of you, you're not here for the same tried and true stories. Am I right?
No, we're not here for the nickel tour. Yeah, the nickel tour. I'm willing to hear what you've got to say, of course, but let's just skip over the theatrics. for the what's the word I'm looking for? The
Expediency.
yeah.
Get to the point,
Yeah.
I believe, yes?
Yeah.
Well, 'tis true, the constables never caught up with old Jack. He tore through 5 women, they proved, and depending on who you ask, butchered
Gotcha.
up to 6 more before disappearing into the fog nearly 50 years ago. Now, I was a wee lad back then, but I remember the fear that crept into our minds every night as we lay down our weary heads. It was a sheer terror for months here in Whitechapel, never knowing when the Ripper would turn up again. Well, here's the thing, cutting to the point for you. Some say the Ripper has returned. Oh, there have been murders over the years, some of them outright copycats of the Ripper's murders. But if you want my opinion, the one true Jack finished off his work and faded out of existence. But there's a fella now, though, that came out of nowhere, claiming to be Old Man Jack. There have been confessions all over the place for decades, but none have held up. But this fella, if it's to be believed, knows things that even the most astute followers of the murderers wouldn't know. There are still secrets that only a select few are aware of, and this crazy bastard knows them all. He appeared one night at Doyle's Tavern, just down the lane there. Got himself good and hammered, and a couple of constables wander in after finishing their shift. Well, this fella, he starts bragging about how he fooled the bumbling idiots at Scotland Yard and had his way with these boys' grandmothers, and then starts a row. Now, these coppers are some strapping young lads, mind you, and they hadn't gotten a pint in them. But this fella rips these boys limb from limb, and it takes 15 sailors and blacksmiths and whatnots from the tavern to pin this man down. Once they got him into custody and calmed him down, he goes on about how he was the Whitechapel killer, and goes into disgusting, gory detail about each murder, and, so my source in the yard says, reveals information only a select few of the detectives have access to. Now, the coppers are still trying to figure out what to do with this feller. He's obviously not the real Jack, as he doesn't look a day over 35. But he also killed 2 constables in plain sight with his bare hands, no less, and has intricate working knowledge of a 50-year-old unsolved series of murders.
Oh.
They have him holed up right now, as I understand it, in the Catholic Home for the Insane, St. Michael's Asylum, down on Montague.
So this just happened, you mean?
Oh, yes.
Like
yes.
just now?
A few weeks ago, yes.
Have they sought any sort of consultancy about this this crime? I mean, there are things that can be done to make this this fellow speak the truth.
The nuns and the priest at St. Michael's are adept at handling the criminally insane, which is why he was taken there. The gentleman, the constable that I know, the detective, is an inspector by the name of John Appleby. He was the one that brought the suspect in and took him to the asylum. And they are questioning him, but he seems to be not willing to give as much information as they would hope.
See. Well, as you know, there are things that there are ways to compel people to speak.
They have ways to make you talk.
You know, they're not violent. but they certainly can be compelled. I mean, I would be. I mean, it's a little bit of a side task, but I mean, there's a reason that we're here. I don't know what that is. And this fellow, I mean, certainly seems to have. Well, I'm certainly curious about it now.
Well, if you would be
I mean-
so inclined, I would be happy to introduce you to Inspector Appleby. And perhaps a man of your talents might be able to get more out of this man than the good men at Scotland Yard.
Well, I mean, I am no inspector, but I have methods. As you well know, there are methods that might shed some light. It's a curiosity, yes. I mean, perhaps you could let him know that I might call on him.
Yes, where are you staying?
We're at the Green
Stepney Green.
Stepney Green. Not far from here.
I
I'm
know
sure
it
you must know
well.
it.
I do. I'll make a call, and perhaps we can have the inspector stop by and introduce himself to you and your interesting companions.
You're interesting. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Wingate. If you're ever in the States, I tell him you can stop by. I don't have nearly the interesting volumes that you do, but you're welcome.
Well, I would be honored to step foot into your store, my good friend, and thank you for coming tonight. You have certainly kept this old man entertained. I enjoy sharing my stories.
Oh, they're interesting stories. Well, have a good night, Mr. Wingate.
One word for it.
Good eve.
Yeah. Hey, Vet, are we good? Did you find anything, or?
Yeah, I mean, I got a whole stack of comics here. How much are these?
He makes you a pretty good little deal on those. He lets them go for about a nickel a piece.
Yeah, okay.
Solid citizen right there.
Yep. Slam the money on the counter, rolls them up, and sticks them in his pocket.
Oh God. The comic collector in me just died. Ah!
All right, so the two ladies have taken
This
a
one's
little.
This one's called Action Number 1.
Oh God.
You just killed him.
They were supposed to be disposable. They weren't supposed to be collectible.
Yeah, you're supposed to
correct.
recycle it for the war effort.
Nobody took
God.
nobody
You just
took
pile
care of
all
them
your
back
comic
then.
books up in your home. You're letting Hitler win.
Checks out.
Oh,
this-
that's amazing.
This copy of Detective Comics, but whoever this is, he's no Shadow.
Yeah.
We should probably catch up to the others.
That's a nice deep dive, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, the two ladies have taken a little side jaunt with Human Tank shadowing them from behind. What do you two ladies want to do?
I think I think the plan was she was going to try and lure our guy out, with not knowing that he's in jail.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But
So it's probably going to be a slow evening.
yeah, that's my guess. We'll probably walk around the block a couple times and see some deplorable poverty, and
I'll ask around a little bit because I'm in my poor but not destitute dress.
Mm-hmm.
by the time we rejoin them, Shelly's probably dead broke at this point because she just keeps finding people that are like panhandling, and she just gives them her money. So she's just like, oh, a lot of money now. She's just like, oh my God, I can't believe those conditions. Like, Mama and I didn't have much coming up, but this is awful.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Flux, you said you wanted to ask some questions.
I'm just kind of asking around to see if there's been any attacks.
You essentially get the same story from the folks that you're talking about that was explained to Mr. Arcane
Okay.
in the shop. They tell you about the fight in the pub. They tell you that 2 police officers were killed in the incident, and it was just a complete bloodbath in that joint.
The papers.
It was in the papers. That was what Flux had actually recalled. But that happened about 2 weeks ago, so it's kind of died down since then. And you didn't have like readily available at your fingertips, the newspaper from a couple of weeks ago. So,
That is it. Recycling.
right.
Do we get what the shopkeeper said in terms of this guy's current
Rip them from
incarceration?
limb to limb.
As far as the incarceration, that's information that nobody else seems to have. They do know that the perpetrator was arrested that night, but whatever happened to him after that has been it's been kept pretty tight-lipped.
I ask if anyone was an actual eyewitness, or if they know someone that actually witnessed this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in the pub.
What's your popularity level?
I have to pop that open. Give me one moment.
Sure.
Since I'm not in Ireland, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Typical.
Typical? Okay, so if you roll on the typical column, let's see what you come up with there.
Ooh,
All right, got a green.
I got some color, yeah.
All right, one of the guys that you're speaking with claims to have been in the pub at the time of the incident, and he says that. Let's see here. All right, the man in question that you're talking about there. He was a little bit of a wee man. I'll tell you that. And he was a lot stronger than anyone would have ever thought that he was. Stood about maybe 5'3", standing straight and tall. But he tore into those constables like they were butter. Just ripped them up to shreds with his bare hands. If I didn't know any better, his nails were like claws. The way that he tore into them.
Do not metagame, Sean. Do not metagame, Sean. Do not metagame. She nods and has that. She nods, takes in the information, and thanks the gentleman. Slips him a not insignificant sum for somebody of their stature.
I think I'm supposed to be paying you, aren't I? How much for a little roll in the hay? What do you say?
She looks at him and goes, "Talk to her."
Oh, I like 'em tall. What do you say, sweetheart?
To what? She's just like staring blankly out and like, what?
How much for a little rough and tumble down the alley
I'm
there?
not that kind of girl. What do you take me for?
Well, what are you doing hanging around this one?
It's my friend.
Well, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? Is your friend.
I'm walking up.
How much for the both of you?
Excuse me. Are you bothering my sisters?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, my brother.
I mean, actually,
Buzz off, you yank. I'm trying to make a little transaction here.
I think they ain't interested. So why don't you buzz off, Limey?
No. Oh,
Hey,
no.
go find your own, and he gives you a little shove.
Well, I will return the favor.
All right,
I'm
would you
not
like to
going
roll
to
initiative?
Not going to tank on because I really don't want to end up with raspberry jam all over the alleyway.
That won't be necessary.
Oh, it's necessary because he's after that shove, he's throwing a punch.
So initiative is just a straight up roll.
You don't have to roll initiative. I'm just gonna roll a little punch your way there. He got a green to sock you one in the kisser.
Well, I will return the favor then.
All right.
You have I think I have basic military training, so I think I get a +1 CS on my fighting.
Let's see here. Martial arts B. Yep.
Yeah. So that goes me to I'm typical in this form, so that would be good.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Apparently I had a little bit too much to drink in the pub.
Swing and a miss. All right, so
Can Flux get in on this, please?
yeah, sure.
I'd like to manifest my shillelagh
Okay.
while this dude's concentrated on the tank over here.
Sure.
He keeps this up, he's gonna see some tanks.
Oops, upside the head. She is a weapons specialist with the shillelagh.
Yeah.
So that's +2 column shift to her excellent fighting.
Okay.
So I believe I would be rolling on incredible.
That is correct. Oh, and it's a yellow.
Ooh.
Like you said, upside the head.
All right, how much damage does that do?
20.
20? Okay. All right, so you give him a good knock on the back of the head, and since he's just a normal dude, you see the Tweety birds flying, and he falls
the
down
Tweety
onto
birds
the
have
pavement.
little Andy caps on them.
Yes, they do.
Good.
Flux looks at Tank and goes, "Nice shot, brother."
Yeah, okay, so you really didn't need my help there, apparently. I couldn't show off, what I normally do, because he'd be a smear, and that's kind of bad for international relationships.
We're not here to kill the civilians. That one needed a good rapping, though.
Yeah,
I think you were dashing.
thank you.
That was very sweet of you to come to our rescue like that.
Thanks. You clearly needed it. I think we should go back and see if the bookworms have found anything.
We appreciated it, though.
Oh, I definitely do appreciate it. Need it or not, it's the intent that matters.
Well, round about that time, you see Vedex and Mr. Arcane coming around the corner. And...
I'll send the shillelagh back after I hit him with it.
All right. And so they're coming down the street. Johnny, you spot the ladies and human tank in his human form standing over the body of a man on the street.
Completely cluelessly, just in case they didn't notice where we were, she starts waving. Oh, hi.
Hello. Yes, we see all of you and that poor guy. What, ran into a bit of trouble, I see.
Oh, no. Just, he got a little uppity, that's all.
He's propositioning us.
I mean, isn't that this? I mean, aren't we in that part of London?
Yeah.
But he didn't take no for a proper answer.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
And also,
I
we
see.
learned that the Ripper dude is in jail, so we figured that couldn't have been him.
No, not jail. What he told you
He's
guys,
in the asylum.
He doesn't know where he was taken. He was just arrested, and then
I would assume, but
don't know
I
what
would
happened after
assume
that,
jail.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I've got some news, but let's go
good.
down to this
So
place
do
down
we.
the street. Oh, okay. let's go to this place down.
For as much of an arsehole this guy was, he was actually rather useful.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah. I see that. And I like. I do the Marvel rule. Hey, buddy, are you okay?
He's good.
So that way you don't kill anybody.
No, he's not.
Hey,
dead.
buddy.
Just tweet.
It was bludgeoning. It wouldn't have killed him anyways.
Okay, all right. I mean, I've seen how this guy hits, so just saying. I don't know about you ladies. We've just met, but
it wasn't this guy that hit him.
Yeah, I didn't
Don't worry
take
about
off.
even better.
I wasn't
Even
gonna
better.
take that chance with just some normal dude.
Well, that was wise. Nice.
You know,
Nice, good job.
if it's a bull man or a mummy or a cyclops or whatever, I figured they could take it. I wasn't
Yeah.
going to take a chance here.
Right, Minotaur. I think there's Minotaur.
Oh.
No, I don't recall there being a Cyclops, but I mean,
What
I might be wrong.
What did Churchill say at one point?
A lot
sorry.
of stuff.
I'm sorry.
He
Teddy
always-
Roosevelt.
He's
Some-
kind of known for saying things.
So
Oh, big
Roosevelt-
stick, yeah, big stick, yeah.
The Roosevelt before the current one.
Yeah. Muscular Christianity, yeah, that's one of his things. Anyway, so we do have some news. I don't know how related it is, but it kind of. Well, it didn't exactly resolve, but certainly there were some happenings at this place down the street, Doyle's. So I figured we could go there. I don't know, maybe the bartender there or the shopkeep or whoever he is, whatever they call them here, might know some stuff. But apparently there's a guy who claims that he's for real Jack the Ripper. He's the actual guy, even though he's in his 30s, and this happened 50 years ago.
We got a description of him too, so let's compare notes.
Okay, well, let's go to Doyle's, right, which is supposed to be right around the corner.
Oh, do you think they have any of those drinks with the little umbrella in it, like that nice man?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna enroll all of you in some kind of program.
Oh, it's so
every one of you.
tasty.
Bucks will find a shadow on the way there, and do a quick morph back to her normal civilian self.
All right. Well, Doyle's is just down the street, and it's basically your typical British corner pub. Entrance is right on the corner of the street right there. It's a whitewashed building made of stone and black painted door and windows. It's a bit seedy for sure. And a lot of sailors and local factory workers frequent this place. Pretty much all filled with men.
Brace yourself, dear.
And you spot the bartender behind the bar. He's a bit of a burly dude that is probably about 220 pounds and looks maybe a little bit overweight, but at a quick glance you can tell that it's covering a lot of muscle.
Well, I'll walk up to the bar before someone else drinks it all, and order a drink, catch the barman's eyes, and see if he'll come over.
Right, what can I get you?
Well, I'll take a pint of whatever.
That's
You
what I
can
got.
pick.
Whatever. That's what I got
Whatever.
right here.
And hey, I hear you guys are kind of famous.
Well, how's that?
Well, I mean, to hear the crazy guy tell it, Jack the Ripper was here in your place just a couple of weeks ago, right?
Oh, shite. I'm still wiping up the blood in different places around the joint.
I hear
Flux
you
up.
took
up.
two constables apart by hand.
That's right. Tore them right apart. Just right where you're standing right there.
I step back.
He moves to the left.
Shelly steps to the side.
Oh,
And
Flux Flux chimes in. Not bad for 5'3" of fury, I imagine.
You heard about him, did you?
Word gets around.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a thing.
But no less dangerous.
He's a little.
Word was
flurry.
he has claws coming from his hands.
That's what a lot of people are talking about. Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
Were you here that night?
Oh yeah, I was here.
Did you see it happen? Must have been terrible.
I certainly did.
Oof.
Got a little piece of him myself, but those poor boys. Yeah, here's to the poor boys he tore apart.
Glasses raised.
What started all
Find this
that?
guy and stop him.
He came in here and he was spouting his mouth off about how he was the Ripper, the killer from 50 years ago, but he couldn't have been more than 32, if you ask me.
Right?
That's a terrible
Kill-
thing to
killer's
go bragging
killer.
about. Hmm.
Why even be bragging? I mean, the whole point with Jack was, he was this guy that snuck around in the dark, laughing at the cops in Scotland Yard and stuff. He didn't go into a bar and say, "Hey, I'm Jack the Ripper."
Well, you asked me, that boy was as crazy as a loon. He'd be speaking in one voice one second and another voice the next. You couldn't keep him straight.
Mm.
Oh,
What was the other
Did
voice
they-
like?
Deep and dark.
interesting. And
I say we find this guy and put him out of everybody's misery.
well, I mean, you said he spoke in different voices?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
there's a couple of old drunk guys down the Bowery do that sometimes.
well, that wasn't exactly where I was going, but
Well, where were you going? What was he like? You think maybe he was like one of them guys that does puppet shows and does all the voices?
That's what I was thinking.
a ventriloquist? No, I don't think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's it, like Charlie McCarthy.
Is there any
Boys.
is there any remaining property damage from the fight? Like marks on the walls, things like that.
You can roll an intuition for me.
Okay.
How long ago has it been now, by the way?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
It's green.
Green? Okay. So you're kind of looking around the bar area there, and the bar has kind of a wooden trim around the outside, close to where, he said that this occurred. And you do see what looks to be 4 slash marks cut into the wood that roughly would be about the shape of a human hand.
I kind of point that out to the other parts of the team.
What, like a bear?
Supposedly that was him, yes?
The marks there, yeah. I think that probably was.
If that's a mark of a human, of a man cutting through wood with his bare hands.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I
have some thoughts.
Yeah, I have a theory.
It could
Maybe
be
it's
funny.
one of them demons from the Necronomicon.
Well, he's speaking in more than one voice. Well, I pay the barman for my pint, and I walk over to where that happened. So, I mean, I have some thoughts. We're dealing with arcane forces here and some very dark ones. If he's switching between several voices, he could be possessed. Maybe he's possessed by the spirit Jack, or that Jack was possessed by a spirit, and that's what made him do what he did. And I mean that's certainly a theory that's never been brought up, because of course it wouldn't. I mean, that's not a scientific concept.
In a
No,
brief
it
moment
checks
of-
out like Jesus and the pigs. It's in the Bible.
Okay.
In a brief
The-
moment of
the Legion of
lucidity,
Pigs.
That was an out of character snicker.
That I suppose is. I mean, okay, sure.
in a brief moment of lucidity, Shelley will add, "Yeah, maybe that's why he's gone for 50 years."
Why? Because he died and
Magic detection.
then came back?
All right, let me see here.
Because it was a thing in a person, and then just went away, and then it came back. Again, now this guy.
Yeah, maybe
know.
the body died. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what we don't
We
know.
should probably go and find out.
Yeah, did you?
Yes. Give me
did-
1 second here.
I was gonna say, did you mention that it was institutionalized?
I hadn't gotten there yet, but yes, I.
Well, I
I
imagine. I thought we may have talked before we talked.
Okay.
Yeah. It hasn't come up yet, but I mean, yes, the whole point of us coming here was to be able to kind of relay that conversation. So, seemed like one you wouldn't have in the street.
Mhm. Yeah, and for the sake of time, we can certainly say that we've shared the information.
Yeah, so yes, I mean, he's there. I don't know if this is related to those things, but now hearing that he's possessed, I think it's possible he could be possessed. Certainly, he's grown claws. I mean, we do know that enhanced individuals exist, right? And he like waves his hand. So, I mean, that is a thing that can happen, but I mean, the other part is, well, the voices, and we know that we're here for a reason related to these artifacts. I mean, we don't know exactly in what way, but that one of them is here. I mean, presumably, if we can trust the criminal underlord of Cairo. Oh, jeez, what a mess.
Well, even he don't want Hitler to win.
Well, I mean, presumably not, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have to go on what we have. So, so I think I agree. I think we should go. Certainly now this seems a little more aligned with what we're here for. Before I thought it was just an interesting happening, and I thought we could maybe help the locals, because boy, wouldn't it be freaking awesome to say that we solved that, as a side task while we're here for the war effort. But
It doesn't feel like a side task anymore, though.
I agree with you. I agree. Let's see. So it's 2 weeks. I think it's been too long, Chris, but I mean, I'm gonna try some magic.
Okay.
And try and use detect energy magic. I'm here to see if there's kind of anything lingering. I was looking to see if there's some sort of psychometry type power that I could maybe access, but I don't know. I don't seem to find one.
I mean, if that's what you want to attempt, we can certainly do that. And that would just be on your general magic roll. Is that remarkable, I think?
Let me look at my stats again. I think that's what we said, yeah. Because most of my, remarkable, because most of my stuff is remarkable, and I think you said that we could try some, some general things under that.
Now, with
score,
this
so.
maybe not being your area of expertise,
Right.
I would say to get anything with the amount of time that has passed,
Right.
you would at least need a yellow probably to succeed.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Let me see if there's anything I can do with Vishanti. Because I don't think there's... Certainly, that sounds like an Agamotto situation there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blind characters, acts of beam. force. No, not really. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. I'll spend karma, and we'll see. I'll just try just some general. I want to see what kind of residual magic there might be here, if there is any. And yeah, so let's just see. Okay, do I have some lag there?
There we go.
Oh, jeez. Well,
yeah.
all right. Well, I'll just spend my 10.
Okay.
Because I don't think a grain's going to do anything for me. So.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, with that, it's just been too long for you to really be able to hone in on anything. I mean, you get just a feeling of dread, but really, that's about all you get.
Well, I'll turn to the other and say, well, I tried a few things, but it's just been too long. I mean, I can sense the palpable dread and fear and the misery, I suppose, but nothing more specific. So maybe if I am in front of him. We have an in with trying to make contact with him. Mr. Wingate said he could put me in touch with the inspector.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah, very nice guy.
Well, if you say so, he was definitely making me super uncomfortable talking about all that icky stuff with such delight.
It's just the topic. I mean, obviously that's his specialty, and I would say he knows more about that than I do. But
wasn't
it's
exactly
a dark
caring
topic.
for the topic of discussion myself, but I suppose it was necessary.
Yeah, it's a dark topic. I mean, some of those rituals are filled with misery and sacrifice, and not self-sacrifice. Sacrifice other people. So,
The worst kind of sacrifice.
right. Okay, so I guess let's perhaps I think he's supposed to call, right? So I told him where we were staying. So we'll give it an evening and then see if I hear from the inspector, and if not, then we could go to, I suppose we could go to Scotland Yard. That's here, right? So
It is. Mm-hmm.
Wait, Scotland Yard isn't in Scotland?
No.
Whose idea was that?
I couldn't say. That's not my area.
Shelley agrees. That's just silly.
All right, so you guys heading back to the hotel then for the evening?
I mean, I'm good with that.
Aye.
Nope.
All right, well, you guys get back to the hotel, walk into the lobby, and there's other than the person manning the desk, there's another man seated there in the lobby with a top hat and spectacles and a big mustache. And I'll show you a little picture of this fella. He stands on your arrival and approaches you as you come in. And he says, "Well, you must be the Americans that my friend Mr. Wingate was speaking of. John Appleby, at your service."
Well, that was very timely, Inspector. Yes, my name is Mr. Armstrong, Hank, and these are my associates. Well, I don't think we're all American.
No, we're clearly not.
I am.
Yeah, my apologies, madam. I can tell by the brogue you're from up north. And
Aye, indeed.
or west.
Well, it's quite fortuitous you've met us here. We were hoping to run into you in the morning.
Well, My friend told me a little bit about your discussion that you were asking around about Jack the Ripper, and we seem to be at a bit of a impasse with the gentleman that we have in custody at the asylum at St. Michael's. He seems to believe that you, sir, he motions to Mr. Arcane, might have some facilities at your fingertips that might be able to help us perhaps break through some of the defenses that this man has set up.
Oh, okay. So, do tell. I mean, I have some skill. Defenses, you say? So what have you? What do you mean? What have you tried?
Well, the usual line of questioning, of course, and perhaps a little bit of forced hand, but I didn't tell you that.
Of course.
He seems to be perfectly out of his mind, if you ask me, but there's something in there that makes me wonder who this man really is. And Appleby pretty much confirms the accounts that you guys have already, discerned both from the bar and from Wingate. And about the man being short but very, very strong, and so on and so forth. But he also confirms that this man, his true identity unknown, has detailed knowledge of the murders that were never leaked to the press. And it's something that he says that is nearly impossible due to the fact that what little information about the murders wasn't public knowledge has been sealed for more than 40 years.
I see. Well, so I understand that, or we understand that he speaks in kind of multiple voices, right?
Oh yes, that's absolutely the case.
Have you identified them all? Have you made any effort to kind of catalog that?
We have cataloged 3 separate voices coming from the man himself. One, which we have now come to call Jack, is sinister and cunning, a bit of a trickster. But there's another darker voice that comes out of this man that is more of an unearthly growl.
Okay.
And even more threatening than the voice of Jack. The third, we've only heard bits and pieces of, and he seems to be pleading for help.
Okay, so you say he's at a sanitarium?
Yes, St. Michael's.
Yes. And I assume that's religious. I assume they're priests and so on.
Yes, indeed.
Or is it okay? Have they tried? I know this is going to sound a little
have they tried an
unusual, but
exorcism?
have they tried an exorcism?
Well, I have to say, I don't believe in all of that supernatural mumbo jumbo.
Well, you don't have to believe in it, but it's true. It believes in you.
But more importantly, they would believe it.
The priest that is in charge of St. Michael's has certainly skirted the idea that the man may be, as he puts it, possessed by the devil. I believe that they have been working with the man in private in an attempt to perform something that they are referring to, yes, as an exorcism. At this point, I have not seen any signs of the fact that it would be working with him. He continues to be combative and disagreeable to any conversation that I might have with him.
Well, that is not exactly my specific specialty, but I may be able to help. I mean, we were drawn here for a reason.
If you're gonna go in there with some guy what ripped up a bunch of constables, I'm gonna be behind you, because if your little magic things don't work, sometimes someone's probably gonna have to whack one upside the head.
Well, I certainly hope so. I
Or
didn't
hold him
intend to
back
go
at
alone.
least.
I didn't intend to go alone. I was hoping for a little help.
Well,
Well, let's see this guy.
we are at wit's end at this point to try to determine what caused this man to brutally attack members of Scotland Yard. And Wingate speaks highly of you, even though he just met you. So I would be willing to pull some strings and see if we can perhaps get a face-to-face with this John Doe.
So you don't even know his name?
No, we don't. We've not been able to identify him up until this point. His fingerprints do not match anything that we have on file, so this man has never been arrested up until this point.
See? Okay. Well, when would you like to do that?
Well, I suppose you would like to catch a bit of shut-eye, and perhaps I can meet you in the morning, say around 10 a.m. at St. Michael's.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Or how say you, the rest of you?
That's
Ten's
fine.
good. 10's fine.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Well, gentlemen, ladies, sleep well, and I shall see you in the morning.
Get home safe.
Good evening, Inspector. So once he leaves, I nod over at VedX and Human Tank. I said, so I know generally your abilities. So you'll have your role to play, but ladies, I don't know. I mean, I know that you can shapeshift, flux, and I don't really know anything about your other abilities. For the record, am, I suppose you would say, an acolyte. I have some skill in the arcane arts, but I am no. Well, I have
She
my
looks
limits.
over. She looks over at Maeve. What's an acolyte?
It's like
Oh.
a beginning wizard.
I thought it was like a priest
No
that
hat.
had been training.
Oh, a wizard. You do magic?
Yes.
That's amazing.
That guy turns into a walking steel monster over there, right there. That guy.
Oh wow.
I would say
Please
that's pretty
politely.
amazing. This is just some study.
I mean, I studied, and I never learned much of anything. Certainly not how to pony rabbits out of hats.
That's a different thing. But anyway, so I don't know what your abilities are. I mean,
What?
do you have any abilities that might be helpful to know about in this situation?
Well, aside from my shape-shifting, everything else I do is based on highest level of training. Your friend, the tank there, can probably vouch that I'm fairly good in a fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's excellent. And that could
That's for
become
sure.
necessary, right? I mean, he pulled apart two men, and it took many men to restrain him. So
No, my specialties is espionage, but I can
Okay.
fight if I need to.
I see.
I'm guessing I'm the big question mark here. So
I mean,
Literally, you're 6 foot.
I mean, I'm assuming there is physicality to what you do,
yeah,
but I don't know.
it's I'm stronger than I look, and I'm pretty good fighter. This nice French gentleman they found, he after the whole accident, and they decided that I was gonna be a special operative. He taught me how to do that French kickboxing,
Oh, okay.
and
So,
I'm pretty good. He said I've a lot of talent for it. So I think it's all the dancing.
sure, I could see that. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So
Oh, and I
good to
throw
know.
thunder and lightning.
And there's
course.
that.
Oh, also there's that. Okay, so good. All right, so good to know. I didn't know if perhaps.
Oh, and I forgot.
Oh.
It doesn't happen very often. You have to forgive me. I'm sorry. When I get hurt, I get better.
Oh, great.
That's
I don't like
useful.
getting hurt though, so I
How
try not to
fortunate
use
for
that.
you. Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
but again, it's not something that I like to do.
Okay, so shape changer and okay, all right, good to know. Good. All right. Well, I suppose I'll retire and contemplate what I'll need to do tomorrow for this guy.
Okay. Sleep good.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna meet with some guy that ripped apart a bunch of cops, and may or may not be the original Jack the Ripper, or could be a demon or something.
Maybe we could just bonk him upside the head. Maybe
I
that
have some. I mean, I have some theories, right? I mean, we know that we're here for a reason, and we know
Yeah,
that.
orders.
Okay. Well, I meant like a little more. Yes, orders. Yeah, orders. But this could be related to one of the 3 artifacts, and I'm trying to kind of piece together which one it could be. I mean, I have an idea, but I guess we'll just have to figure it out. So, and if it is possession, I mean, geez, so the pleading one could be the actual poor bastard who wound up getting whammied. Jack could be Jesus. I mean, he could be the real Jack the Ripper, or the
I don't
spirit
think he
of
could
him.
be Jesus. Let's not get blasphemous here.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. Sorry. Oh my gosh, could be the real Jack the Ripper, or whatever his name was. And then the third could be, I don't know, some other force. So, I don't know. I'll contemplate that.
Wasn't there a fella in the Bible who was like all full of demons?
I think so.
It was the pig. The pig was full of.
No, he put
There
the
was
demons
there was
in
a
the
fella.
pit. Yeah, it was
Are we
Legion.
talking about the Legion part?
Yeah,
I am Legion.
and
That
then
bit?
and Jesus threw all the demons out of him too. I think I don't remember.
Didn't they wind up in the pigs? Isn't that where the pigs come in?
And then they went into the
I am
pigs.
no
Yeah.
biblical
Yeah.
scholar.
That's what
The
happened.
man was possessed with a shit ton of. Okay, y'all know the story. Come on.
Mary doesn't remember Sunday school very well. She doesn't remember
Yeah.
anything very well.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, I mean it could be something like that. I don't know. We'll just have to figure it out when we get there.
Okay. Big breakfast, then off to handle that.
All right, so you guys want to jump forward then in time
Sure.
a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so you guys get a pretty decent night's rest, as best a rest you can after all of the horrible stories that were shared with you over the last couple of hours, and then meet up at the St. Michael's Asylum. It's just on the outskirts of Whitechapel.
Oh, okay.
The building itself, as you approach, you can tell that at one point it was the grounds of an old cathedral, and it shares its acreage with what appears to be a small convent. Applegate is there at the asylum, at the entrance when you guys arrive, and I'm going to pull you to the map here. Any second.
Ian, what's your character's first name?
Jake.
Jake, okay. And Jay?
John.
John. Oh boy, okay.
Of course it is.
You can just use human tank or H or something else.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, because Shelly's going to refer to everybody by their first name until they yell at her, so.
Are
I'm
we
sorry.
in uniform, so to speak?
It's up to you guys.
I don't know. I'm not going to be.
I
He's
feel
still
like
in
since
his-
this is official business, I feel like Shelly would get into full uniform, unless it was suggested to her by somebody smarter that it was not a good idea.
Well, I'm not that stressed about it because Flux's uniform could pass as normal clothing.
And I normally wear my standard army gear, so
Okay.
Yeah, VetX's uniform stands out a little bit more, but it consists of a jacket, a helmet, and a rocket pack, and an M919.
Oh, rocket pack. Okay.
Giant machine gun. I
That's
mean, I
what
don't
that's
know.
that's what's in the duffel bag he's carrying around.
All right,
my
but
goodness.
you've got all that packed up, right? So it's not
Yep.
out in the open, right?
Yeah, it's
All right.
it's in a big old tea
You
bag
don't want to bring a
that he
giant
lugs
machine
around
gun
with
to
him all
the,
over the
to
place.
Scholar, yeah. Come on.
So most of you guys look pretty normal as you're in the lobby getting ready to go, and you do see Shelly come out in a crop top and hot pants.
Okay.
Oh, are we
Hey,
not? Is this not? Am I supposed to be downplaying?
It's up to you. I'm not here to tell you how to dress. You dress how you want. That's fine.
Nobody's slut shaming, man.
I mean, she's way past self-conscious at this point. You can only get on stage so many times before you're kind of over it.
All right, when you guys get to St. Michael's, then Appleby, like I said, is there waiting for you, and he spots all of you, as you approach, and he takes particular notice of Shelley.
I can't imagine why.
And he says, "Oh my. Well, perhaps, young lady, you might want to borrow my overcoat.
I'm not cold. You're fine.
I don't believe that the nuns would look very highly on the manner of dress you've chosen for this morning."
oh yeah, and they got rulers. Trust me, I know from nuns.
Oh god. They got rulers.
And he takes his jacket off and he reaches up to you to drape it over your shoulders at
Okay.
least.
So it's probably like mid to high thigh length on her. Or
Yeah,
something like
probably
that.
so, yeah.
Actually, no. If it's a full long coat, like a London fog trench, then it's probably like knee.
Yeah, probably down to your knee. Yeah.
Enough to keep the penguins off your back.
It would suck to punch out penguins. I would get in a lot of trouble.
And he delicately kind of fumbles with it around the front and pulls the belt nice and tight in the front there for you.
She just smiles. She does kind of enjoy the whole flustering people thing.
Out of character, you can't spell hot pants without the letters H-O.
Oh god.
Wow.
Oh god. Wow.
I should take away
This is
karma
not-
points
this
for
is
that.
Yeah, that's negative.
You know, the Comics Code Authority is going to have some things to say to that.
The Comic Code Authority. Oh no.
I love it.
Well, with that out of the
So,
way.
do I need to refresh here? What's going on?
Uh-oh, what happened?
I just have a black screen.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
You may want to just try right click and drag. Can you see your characters at all?
Oh, hold on.
I see mouse pointers.
Since I just added your character, I don't think I pulled her into the scene. So hold on one second. That's the problem. Let me
Gotcha.
get you here.
Yes, I'm wondering who Darkwing is.
He's not
he's not
with us
here.
right now. Yeah.
He's the vampire, though.
Also, as I scroll out, the county asylum and the county, it looks like a Ouija board.
Oh, it kind of does.
A little bit. I get that. Yeah. How appropriate.
All right. Well, Wingate welcomes you guys there to the asylum, and he says
Or
that
Appleby, right?
I'm sorry, Appleby. Sorry.
Yep.
Or is that the
And-
same guy?
It's the
Oh.
same dude. He says that you'll note that there's a nunnery just across the way over there. It's these nuns who have taken on the task of caring for the mentally unstable under the guidance of Father Maurice Duchamp. He's the curator here at the asylum and a psychologist by the name of Victor Sampson. We'll be meeting them here shortly. And he walks up to the door, gives a little knock, and a few moments pass, and the door comes open, which hopefully that just happened for you guys there. You should be able to see in there.
Zoom in so I can see people.
And inside, you see two nuns and this gentleman here, an older gentleman, bald, again with spectacles that seems to be going around, and a long bushy white beard. And this is Dr. Victor Sampson, as he's introduced. Well, welcome. I understand Inspector Appleby here has brought you along to speak with our newest patient. Is that correct?
It is.
Well, Mr. Appleby vouches for you, so I suppose you should come along. I'll introduce you to the father. And he opens the door behind him. The nuns wait dutifully in the lobby there as you guys pass. He walks into the main area here, opens another door with a key, and continues on into the main hallway here of the asylum. From here, he takes a left and goes down the hallway, unlocking another door as he goes. I'll let you guys catch up here.
I was sticking close to the inspector.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I'll pull him in there too.
Unless he's not going in.
Yeah, he's going with you guys.
Okay.
He's like, no, I don't go in there.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him.
I did my job.
No, thank you. What?
Where'd he go?
Yep,
Straight ahead?
straight through here.
There we go.
And then this way.
Okay.
Right through here and into here. And then once you guys get into this little small hallway, you see some stairs off to your left. And then down towards the south, there's another door, which he knocks at. And from inside, you hear someone say, come in. And this is where you will meet the Father Duchamp. And there he
Nice
is.
office.
And I'll pull up a little picture for you here for Father Duchamp. He's a younger man, appears to be in his maybe late 30s, perhaps early 40s, but a good-looking chap. And he says, welcome. I appreciate you all being here. FedEx, I'm going to pull you into the room here. There we go. It's come to my understanding that Mr. Appleby here has brought you in to speak with our subject, our John Doe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've heard some very interesting things, very troubling things.
Well, the man that we have currently in confinement, who wishes only to be referred to as Jack, is prone to fits of violence that come out of nowhere. I'm concerned that if faced with a bevy of brawny men and beautiful women such as yourselves, it might agitate him to where he might harm himself or potentially others.
We can restrain him.
He is restrained at the moment, so it is our hope that he is not strong enough to break the bonds which hold him as we speak, but he has exhibited extraordinary strength. So I do suggest caution should you decide to speak with him. Now, can you tell me a little bit about why you have offered your services here?
Well, it's a bit of a long story, but the shorter version is we were sent here seeking some items and for the war effort, right? I think we can divulge that. But in on arrival, we wound up speaking to Mr. Wingate, who is an associate of the good inspector there, and he tells us a story. And we know that we're here for a purpose, and it could be related to your John Doe, or I think it's a little, you know, irresponsible to call him Jack the Ripper, but boy, he knows some things, so I'm told. But Father, I hate to be, unconventional here, but do you think he is possessed? I've heard some things, and I've heard from the inspector, and I've heard that, these are real things. And I don't have a lot of firsthand experience on possession, but I could try to push that out.
Well, I will
I don't know if
say
you tried that.
I have some expertise in the practice of exorcism myself, yes. And I will say that he exhibits all of the signs of one that perhaps would be possessed. Now, Dr. Samson believes that he exhibits the disorder known as multiple personality disorder, which certainly could be the case. But with his display of great strength, the ability to grow his fingernails to extreme lengths that seem to harden, I believe that he, myself, is possessed. And I have been working over the last several weeks to try to break through and speak with the entity or entities that reside inside him.
Has that entity named itself yet?
Only one, and he does refer to himself as Jack.
Of course he does.
I see. Well, I have some things I can try. They are, they're not written in the Bible, I'll tell you that. But
none of this is written in the Bible.
But they could be useful to try and either make contact with that. Well, I understand there are three voices, is what I've been told.
Yes, that's true.
One says Jack. One is rarely heard from and is pleading. And one is something even worse than Jack. Is that true?
That is true. Mr. Appleby must have already spoken about this, yes.
We did speak. I hope that's okay. But I have some ideas. I am making some very large jumps here, but no one knows who this person is, right? No one knows his actual name.
That is true. And during my attempts at exorcism, this third voice has made itself known. And I believe in my heart that this is the man that this demon has possessed. He is
which voice?
It is a gentle and meek
voice. That would have been my guess. Yes. Now, we're here to... Okay, so he looks around. Like, I don't know who he thinks is going to be listening in this room, but he looks around. So we seek artifacts. And we know that one of them must be here. And the only one that that according to what we've been told, could have any kind of effect like this is an amulet. Does he have an amulet?
No, he had very little possessions on his person when he was brought here, only the clothes that he was brought in with.
So no items of any, note. Just clothes.
Just clothes.
Okay.
I'll ask the nuns. They took his belongings and spirited them away for safekeeping. Actually, if you would like to speak with them, they're waiting just outside. If we are going to do this, I must set some parameters.
Certainly.
The safety of my patients is of utmost importance to me and to the nuns here.
Of course.
I would insist that if you are going to question our subject, that there only be 2 people in the room at the time, and I myself must be present during the questioning.
I see.
But if we can agree on that, I would be happy to prepare the patient for you, and in the meantime, the nuns here would be happy to show you about.
Okay. I look to the others. Is that? I presume it needs to be me.
If that's what he wants. He's a priest. He's a man of God, so we can trust him, even if he is Catholic.
Even if he is.
That's amazing. I don't really want to go in anyway, so I'm not mad. The only thing I would say is like the place where you're gonna do the thing, are there windows? Because maybe somebody needs to watch that and be careful.
Yeah, or exits or whatever. Yeah, that's good.
We will bring him to a room that has a little bit more space than the individual patient's rooms. It is still a compact space, but there are no windows that you would need to worry about.
Okay. And we can wait in the next room. That's okay?
Yes, that would be fine.
In case anything gets out of hand, I don't want
Actually, I need to take a restroom break too.
Okay.
I wouldn't want Hank to get hurt. So, want to be close.
Alrighty, Johnny, welcome back.
Hey. Sorry.
At this point, since we kind of have reached a bit of an agreement here, I think that what has been discussed at this point is VetX is going to go in with Mr. Arcane first to conduct the questioning.
Okay.
Everybody else is going to be waiting outside. The father is going to take his leave of you guys and prepare the patient for questioning.
Okay.
And he, as he leaves, introduces you all to two of the nuns that are just waiting outside. Sisters Mary Margaret and Mary Catherine. And they lead you guys on a little bit of a tour around the grounds of the hospital, and making small talk and discussing the patient if you happen to ask. There's really not much more that they can really give you, other than the fact that their interactions with him have been not necessarily the same as what has been lined out to you by Inspector Appleby, nor the father.
Okay.
That he seems to be pretty docile and complacent, doesn't speak much, and what little he does say is usually asking for food, for water. He asks for help. He asks to be let out of here. He doesn't know where he is at any point. That seems to be a pretty constant for him. Is he, even after they tell him where he is, that he's incarcerated at the asylum, 5 minutes later, he will ask them again, "Where am I?" So he has very short-term memory from their account. But both of the nuns are trained nurses and have been assisting the Mother Superior in caring for and counseling the patient. And they have been with him since he has been here 2 weeks ago. So,
do you have any items? Anything with him?
No, he was brought in only with clothes on his back. And we have stored those away in hopes that one day he might be able to be released once again, if not into police custody, perhaps out into the world itself. We hope that the work that you are doing and the work that the Father is doing in attempting to exorcise the demon that is within him will return this poor, unfortunate soul to normal.
I mean, I hope so also, but boy, I'm not really sure how demonic possession plays into criminal law, and don't really know that there's a allowance for. But I was possessed, Your Honor. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
let's not lose sight of the fact that he killed some people.
But I mean, certainly, I would like to bring some peace to this person. I mean, at least. I mean, everyone deserves peace. So.
A piece of my foot in their ass.
I've heard the nuns say they could beat the devil out of someone, so maybe that'll work.
Well, the nuns walk you around the facility, and you walk through kind of lavish hallways that you had walked through in getting to the father's office, and it's very nice marble, green and white tiles on the floors, and you can certainly feel, that this was originally a cathedral at one point or another. The whole area is basically a large square with a hallway that basically runs a racetrack around the whole facility. There are about a dozen rooms where patients are kept under lock and key. Several sitting areas and studies, and a small little cafeteria where the patients, are brought in for food, the ones that actually can be released into the general public. And then they finally, you see that there's a courtyard kind of in the middle of the sanatorium that seems to be safe. It's got very high walls and nothing that anybody could climb to try to get out, to the outside world. But they bring the patients out there from time to time to get some fresh air. The tour finally ends with you guys being brought, and I'm going to just probably pull the whole group, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Not at all.
Into another concealed hallway that's through a couple of locked doors. Ooh, come back. There we are. There we go. Bombshell, I'm going to move you over just a little bit here.
Yeah.
She managed to go through a wall.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. There was this time in basic.
And the
Not very
nuns
sturdy.
and Dr. Sampson, we'll call him Doc Sampson, but not that Doc Sampson.
I
was wondering,
I literally
I was like,
immediately was like, "Oh,
Are they related?
That might be his
They have green hair?
his grandfather or great grandfather potentially. So
nice."
They have green hair and a ponytail?
But the nuns are there with you, and they take positions on either side of this doorway here. The doctor unlocks the door here for you and says, well, whoever's going inside, I suppose, have at it. And I'll be locking the door behind you, so don't be alarmed when you hear the lock latch. The rest of you will be staying out here, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Close by.
Thank you.
All right. So Vedex and Mr. Arcane, you are now in the room. And as you walk in the door, you see in front of you here, there are like little curtains in this area surrounding the patient who's laying in this bed just inside. I'll keep the door open there for you guys just in case you want to look in there so you can kind of see what's going on. The father is standing next to the patient, but when you guys walk in, immediately you are hit with just a blast of cold, icy air in here. It drops about 20 degrees from the temperature of the hallway outside. There's a single light on over the bed that is lighting up the patient in question. He's dressed in a straitjacket and has been bound to the bed. And he is a man small of stature. Hard to tell with him laying in bed, but yeah, probably around about 5'3", just like everyone was kind of describing him back at the pub. He's got long, scraggly black hair and deep, sunken eyes. Appears to be almost emaciated. Maybe he weighs about 120 pounds. So a little bit of a dude for sure.
So you feel that? So Vedex, as I walk in?
Yeah, they need to turn the heater on in this place. Turn on that radiator, whatever you call them back then.
I don't think that's going to help.
I'm afraid the coldness that you feel is coming from our John Doe here. Jack, don't forget the name.
Really, though?
It's kind of a common name, so, should be all right. Jack.
Father Duchamps addresses you once again. He says, I shall step away for a moment. I will be here if you need anything. I'll be standing over in the corner just over here. Do please don't lay any hands on the patient. You may question him, but I ask that you please remain just outside of the curtained area while you question him, just in case.
Certainly, no, I would never do such a thing. So, so Jack.
Yes. Who are
So
you? You're new.
I am new. Uh, but you're not alone there. Is that right? That's what I'm led to believe.
Oh, no. I have many friends.
In there?
Yes, they're all inside with me.
How do you figure? How's that?
Well, you tell me. You're the magician, aren't you?
Actually, with that, I will try and cast a spell.
Okay.
So I'm going to try energy detection magic. I want to, see specifically, if there's some stuff going on with him. And I will spend karma for this. Let's see. How far is that from a yellow? Let's see. It's remarkable. I'll go up to a yellow. I'll spend for a yellow.
All right, so you do a little magic detection and you immediately hone in on the aura that surrounds pretty much everybody. You've seen this before. This particular aura, though, around our John Doe here is black as pitch. And it burns with some sort of eternal fire.
I see.
And you see his eyes within the aura are the color of blood.
Oh, looks like I'm not the only magician. Or are you just the result of it?
Oh, there is magic that resides inside me, yes.
So you would have us believe that you're the real deal, the real Jack.
Why, yes, of course.
Well, this is not what the real Jack was supposed to look like, and certainly not the age the real Jack is supposed to be. Right? This tiny man is a middle-aged, okay, let me see, in the 40s, I guess. He's a middle-aged man.
And I
and
was a
small.
middle-aged man when I committed those murders on those poor little whores.
50 years ago?
Yes. And yet here I lay in
How
front
did that
of you.
happen?
How did what happen? How did I come to be here?
Mm-hmm.
I met a little friend upon my travels, yes. My friend resides here inside me. He's who brought me back to this wonderful world that we live in.
Your friend? Well, I mean, I doubt he's a friend. Certainly you've made a deal, right?
Oh,
But
we all make deals, don't we? You made a deal before you came here, I believe, yes?
I've made many deals. I make deals daily. I'm willing to make another deal, but
I don't. I paid full price for these comics.
it's a metaphorical deal.
Oh.
He turns. So, well, actually, it's not even a metaphor. It's an actual deal. A favor for a favor. Although my favors usually don't involve ripping people apart.
I bestow that favor upon all that I come across now. I have that power, you know.
Doesn't seem like you'll be doing it anymore.
Here I'm just resting and waiting.
What's your friend's name?
Oh, you're a clever fellow, you think, aren't you?
I would say merely average.
That is not a name that I wish to share with you. I don't think that he would be very happy.
So it sounds like he's the one that's really in charge, right?
In charge? Why, I'm in charge.
Well, you're scared to say his name, so it sounds like he's in charge.
I'm not scared. Are you trying... You're trying to say that I'm scared of the man that brought me here?
I'm saying that you're afraid to say his name.
It's Mitzelflix, isn't it?
I am not afraid. Not afraid of him at all. You should be the one that is afraid.
And that remains to be seen. Let's see. Of the ones that we know about, he turns over to Vet X. Let's see. In doing our homework, I can only think of one name that we've heard lately that that would deal with something like this, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think he's the one that's in charge. I think he's the one, and like he turns over, like ignoring Jack, right? He totally ignoring Jack. I think that's who we really want to talk to, right?
Yes, absolutely. We know who we want to talk to. And it's not this guy.
Oh, you think you know. You think
not
you
this,
know. You think you're so smart.
Let me ask you a question, Jack. So this poor sap, can we like who is this poor sap that you're writing? You know, if you are Jack, the Jack, who's this poor man?
He's a poor weakling of a man, but I have shown him strength. I have shown him what he can do with this weak little body.
Well, I mean, you know, the arts can do many things, right? I mean, they can enhance a body, they can destroy a body. I mean, many things. But you don't, I mean, at least tell us his name. Give this poor fellow some dignity.
You'll not get that out of me. You think you know who he is? You tell me who he is.
Oh, I honestly don't know. I know who your friend is. I don't know who this poor fellow is. What was he, a dock worker, or what did he do? Was he a carpenter?
What does it matter?
I mean, a man deserves some dignity.
This man deserves no dignity. He lived among the rats in the street.
So he was homeless. Okay.
I am showing him his true potential.
So, you're Jack the Ripper. Were you actually a doctor? Some people said that you were.
Some people say many things about me. But yes, I know the art of medicine.
Well, then I mean, surely, you know, Jack, I think we know where this is going. Look, I just want to talk to Pazuzu.
Don't say that name! And
see, that's it.
When he says that, he spits.
Do I hear that, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when that happened, the lights outside began to flicker. And a spray of green goo comes out of his mouth in your general direction there, sir.
Not sure if I was hoping for it or not, but I'm glad
I wasn't hoping for the goo.
If you would like to roll a dodge, you may.
Oh yeah, I'll try and dodge. I'll even spend karma for it.
Meanwhile, out in the hall, Shelly is bored out of her mind doing the occasional like tap dance, just going through basic tap dance steps, and then stops.
I am going to.
What was that?
I am going to tank on.
Okay.
Suddenly, you know, Jake vanishes, or basically erupts into a huge, 7 feet of, jagged, misshapen armor that looks like someone just riveted a whole bunch of iron plates to him, in a hurry.
Ian, I
Goodness.
feel there's a missed opportunity that you don't refer to that process as getting tanked.
That's a good point. Yes, and
That's
I am
nice.
not waiting for an invite. I
Getting
hear
tanked.
someone screaming and weird noises. I'm just going to go to the door. If it is locked, I am going to smash it open.
All right.
It's open.
Well, that takes all
Smashy.
the fun out of it.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to move you there, Vedex. All right, so
Okay, what's going on here?
here's the sequence of events as it happens. The the vomit spews forth towards Mr. Arcane. He jumps to the side. You got a green, took 2 column shifts off of his attack, so it misses you. And it hits the countertop that's directly behind you here, which is a wooden countertop. When it hits, you can see smoke coming off of it, and it begins to eat away at the wood. Vedex, you were right in front of the door when Human Tank came busting through. I'm going to give you an intuition roll there to see if you know that that's coming.
Well, he's pretty loud, so
You probably did hear Tank on from behind the door, so I'll at least give you that. So you can have a +2 column shift on that.
Okay.
So yes, you do hear him coming. You can get out of the way and avoid the shrapnel of the door bursting in.
Yep, it just steps to the side
Father Duchamp's
and holds his hand out to try to get Tank to stop. It's like, hey, it's cool.
Father Duchamp
do I
steps
notice
forward.
the vomit, all over the countertop that's doing horrible things?
You can roll an initiative to see that, or I'm sorry, intuition to see that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that'll happen. Yeah. There seems to be a rule. My characters never make perception checks.
Right.
Whatever perception is in a particular game system, my characters always fail them.
Okay.
Father Duchamp kind of steps towards Human Tank, and he puts his hand on the metal of your skin. And he says, "What manner of creature are you? Please, don't agitate him any further."
I think he's already pretty darn agitated. I'm just making sure my friend's gonna get out of here okay.
Oh yes, I'm agitated.
See, I told you.
Who are you?
That's a new voice, right?
Yep.
Ah,
Call me
the one in charge.
Tank. I think that's kind of obvious why.
Well, he holds up a finger like behind him, like, hey, just hang on. And he doesn't seem, well, I mean, he's disturbed, but he's like, hang on. So we get to speak to the entity in charge.
I am in charge, yes.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Because you're here.
You think you know why you're here, don't you? You think you can save the world? You righteous piece of shit.
Hey, this lady's present.
You think you're special. You think you're heroes. How many lives have you taken in this war?
0.
I lost track.
You're the one I'm speaking to, and the other one hiding in the corner over there. How much blood have you spilled? Mothers crying for their sons.
Their sons were Nazis.
Children who will never know their fathers. All because you soldiers have to compare the sizes of your cocks.
I don't have to compare. I know exactly how big it is.
I'm taking a step forward. My character has a
Hang
pretty
on.
low psyche and is probably very easily manipulated.
Hang on.
Speaking
Mr.
of
Arcane puts
cocks,
his
I
arm
heard
out.
yours is rotting. Is that true?
Would you like to see it?
I would.
No, 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 no,
We are so in trouble with the Comics Code Authority, guys.
Whip it out.
no.
Unbind
No.
me from these straps and I will show you.
We don't need to be.
FedEx looks over at Mr. Arcane for approval.
You know, it is really hard to get a word in
No,
edgewise here.
no.
Guys,
It is.
No.
There's a lot going on.
there's also probably a lag between.
Yeah.
Yes, but I was trying to do a cool entrance moment and it's lost. So
Sorry, buddy. That's the
Sorry, man.
the side effects of actually being on Zoom. But if you would like to retroactively make that, you certainly may.
I mean, can we hear all this since human tank put a
Yeah.
human tank-sized hole?
Yes,
Yeah, the door.
yeah, you can certainly hear all of that.
The door
yeah.
was not locked. Is that correct?
No, the door
It
was
was
open.
locked, yes,
It
but
was.
it is now open.
It is now.
It is now non-existent
Okay.
as a roll, but I figure incredible strength against a
Yeah, no,
average
you're
internal
fine.
door is not going to really be much of a.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Flux is going to come into view, partially to see what this jackass actually does.
Let's see what you did there.
This guy ain't saying things a lady should hear.
Fortunately, I'm not a lady. I'm a woman. And you, comparing penis sizes, I don't need to see your needle dick, and neither do any of these gentlemen. So do what you came here to do, or just lay there and be pathetic.
Oh, you tell him, lady. A
She's,
woman.
she's a
whoever.
fiery one. I like her. Thank you for bringing them to me, Father.
How is Father reacting to this?
Well, he's in a bit of panic. He's doing his best to try to push you out of the room to absolutely no avail whatsoever. But he's leaning on you. Please, I ask you, please, don't agitate him any further. You must go.
You might want to get out of our way, Father.
You realize you have the devil in your, church.
No, I'm not the devil.
He's a different demon.
They all devil alike to me.
You've said my name. Say it again. I like the sound of it.
Pazuzu?
That's it. You're a lucky guesser, you.
Oh, we're not guessing. I mean, there was a bit of an educated guess there, yes, but it was educated.
The rotted cock gave it away.
So, you are here to combat evil, aren't you?
We're here to seek things. I think you know what we seek. But now that you're here, why are you here?
Why are any of us here? You
To
think
stop you.
to stop me because you think I am evil. But what is evil?
There ain't no think about it.
You're just
What-
You're not evil. You're just boring. Get to the damn point or go to sleep. I don't really care which. But you ain't doing jack shit from that table, Panini, or whatever that is you call yourself.
Yeah, Panini.
Oh, taunt the demon, taunt the demon.
Well, I'll tell you what then. I'll make a bargain with you. Father Maurice needs to go. The secrets I bear are too harsh for his delicate sensibilities. Take him away, just for a moment.
I don't know if the good father's agreeable to that.
I must insist that I stay.
Father, you want your patient kept safe, yes?
I do.
I assure you that we will keep your patient safe. We will take no action to him. And I mean, for my part and for our part, and he looks around like, okay, kids, I mean, you see there's something happening here. This is not a normal
period, right?
Do what now?
I said, don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Right, exactly. So I understand this is unusual. It's out of the ordinary. It's certainly unconventional, but give us a moment. It will be just a few moments, and then you can come right back. We will stay put, and he will stay put. I mean, he hasn't come out of his restraints, yes? He's never been able to break out of them?
He has not as of yet.
Okay. We don't intend to take him out of his restraints to beat him up or anything, right? He looks around.
Oh, correct.
I wouldn't hit a guy who's tied up.
Right. Well, that's not exactly what it is. Okay. Right, exactly.
I got,
see?
out of here.
The bottom line is we need to talk to this guy alone to get information that'll save the world. So, preacher dude, you just got to go.
Please.
Please, Father.
He looks at Mr. Arcane and he says, if you promise me that no harm, physical harm, will come to this man, I will step outside. But
okay,
you promise me that you can keep your friends here at bay.
Yes. They are all trustworthy.
Sir, we are only here to protect you.
Nobody's going to lie to a priest. And besides, maybe this guy.
I lay my trust at your feet. Please see to it that there is no harm that comes to him. I shall return in 5 minutes.
Thank you, Father.
And he takes a step outside the room.
We have our
bombshell is in the doorway.
When he steps out, Jack speaks again. You have to get me out of here. I'm begging you. Whatever this thing is inside of me, it's nothing compared to what will happen if they get their hands on it.
What do you mean?
Who's they?
The nuns. It's the nuns. You have to get me away from the nuns.
How so?
I mean,
the nuns?
None of my business.
The nuns.
Oh, boo.
Oh, yeah.
Boo.
The dirty little whorish nuns. This poor bloke is scared of them. I think perhaps he had a bad experience when he was in Catholic school. Something with a ruler in a place where it maybe shouldn't have gone.
I feel like I'm inside of a King Diamond album.
Okay.
You want information from me, yes? I do. Information. But you take me out of here. You want to save the world? Save this body. Save this poor, poor man. Those Nazi scum, they want me. Now you don't want that, do you?
Oh, we definitely don't want that.
Tell me what it is that you seek.
Is there any sort of sign on his body that there's at least the tracing of an amulet?
No.
Okay.
No, he is in a straitjacket, so I mean, you can't see his flesh other than the skin of his face.
What? Well, we seek the amulet, but the amulet just leads to you, doesn't it?
You seek my amulet.
Yes.
I can tell you where the statue is. But you will let me go. Get me out of this place, and you can save all of the meaty, fleshy things. You will get what you desire.
Mr. Arcane,
Yes.
I don't know why it seems relevant, but I feel like I should point out that he's trying to make a deal.
Yeah, even I picked up on that.
He is trying to make a deal. Those weren't the deals I meant.
With the devil.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out.
Yeah.
This might be relevant. I don't know.
Yeah.
Come on, tick-tock, tick-tock.
What about the nuns?
What about the nuns?
Oh, you don't know what they know. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. They don't know.
Jack doesn't know what Pazuzu knows, and Pazuzu doesn't know what Jack knows.
And Jack and Pazuzu don't know what the other poor What is that poor man's name?
Good question.
Why do you need to know?
I mean, presumably he's got a family or someone that cares about him. They need to know where he is. At least we could tell him something.
Come on, Pazuzu, have a heart.
Oh, I don't think it works that
His
way.
name is a name well known in the Bible.
Oh, gosh.
Well, that narrows it down.
Oh, is he
John?
Catholic? It's
Adam?
probably Paul.
There's a lot of Johns.
He is the betrayer.
Oh, Judas.
Not many that take his name these days.
Mr. Arcane, maybe I'm just new at this, but he's offering all these pie in the skies, help you save the world bullshit to let him go. But he's not being very specific as to exactly how he can be able to help. I don't see a deal being very fair, since we know exactly what he wants, but we have no clue what he has to offer.
It's true.
I can tell you exactly where my statue lies. That's what you want. And you want to keep it out of the grimy hands of the Führer.
Yeah, but we don't exactly
The
want
viewer.
you getting loose and ripping
Viewer.
up cops.
Viewer.
Wait, what do you mean?
The Führer.
Oh, the Führer. Okay, sorry. I thought he said viewer. Sorry.
And I'm sorry, Lizard, what did you say?
Oh,
I was
Okay,
saying, we
all right,
don't
I'm gonna
want
do some
you
dumb shit.
going
Oh,
out
hold on
calling
a second,
cops
Johnny.
and ladies, you know. So what do we got to keep you on your best behavior?
You just let me out of here. I go on my merry little way, and I tell you exactly where to find my statue.
Yeah, I don't think that's that good an idea.
Well, then you get nothing from me.
Oh,
And he
okay,
closes
okay.
his eyes and he goes to sleep.
I look over
Okay,
at Mr.
so-
Arcane. Can't you, mumbity jumbo it out of him?
So, Chris, I'm going to try some dumb shit.
Okay. I was hoping you would.
Yeah, so he's going to, start to kind of float there in the air. He's going to cross his legs and he's going to float up. And he's going to, start concentrating, since he's not paying any attention to me now. So he's going to start chanting. Sadly, it won't be a poem because I'm not that kind of guy. I don't have your friend's talent for that. But so he's going to, hold his palms out, and he says, by the let's see, the all-seeing eye of Agamotto, by the hoary hosts of Hoggoth, by the, let's see, what's a good one?
Flames of the Faultine.
No, I don't have that one.
Oh,
By the might of Ashtur, be gone. And he's gonna like focus. So I'm gonna use. He's gonna focus his power on Jack. And so Agamotto has this thing, and I don't know if this will work or not, but he can completely dispel an illusion, charm, or other mental influence. And I realize this is possession, but at monstrous intensity. Now I have to make my roll, and then the monstrous effect happens if it works. If you say it works, but so that's what I'm going to try because, we're only getting so far.
Okay, and the intent is to dispel the control.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
And so I don't know if that's... Anyway, so obviously I'll spend karma on this, but that's what I'm going to try.
Okay.
So whether it works or not, I mean, who knows? We'll see. But,
69, baby, let's go.
I know, wouldn't that be fucking awesome right now?
Right?
Let's see, where am I at here? Okay, all right. Okay, it's only green, so I'll spend to get my yellow.
Okay.
And according to, that, the Realms of Magic stuff, my stuff works if it is in line with the Vishanti, right?
Gotcha.
And I would say, trying to, exert some control over this guy might be. I don't know. You tell me.
Okay. Now, what is your personal intent here?
So my intent is to try and drive him out, but I don't think I can manage that.
Okay.
But that's what I'm trying to do, and certainly I'm trying to free this guy, who presumably found the amulet. Because presumably he found it and stumbled on it, and then some shit happened, and he got possessed.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you got a yellow.
I did, yeah. Yeah, I'll spend to get a yellow. I got a 41, I think. Was it a 41? 41. So yellow for incredible will cost me 20 karma. No, I'm sorry. 20 karma. Yeah.
All right. So you cast your spell. And I'm going to give Jack here an attempt to resist. Oh, what? All right. He got one.
He ain't doing jack shit.
Damn! You got knocked the fuck out.
Damn, and
Power of Christ compels you.
All right, so you hit him with the spell, and green energy surrounds the body of John Doe laying on the bed, and it lifts him up within his restraints in the bed, and you hear this just unholy growl come out of Jack. This, and the restraints snap, and he is suspended about 5 feet above the.
That's not what it was.
It's just like he's suspended about 5 feet up above the bed. Lizard and Jeff, what are your psyches?
Crap. Good. You want me to roll?
Give me a sec. What's Jeff? What's yours?
Shelley's psyche is typical.
Typical. All right. So Shelley, I would like for you to roll a psyche feat, please.
Oh,
Sure.
Spend some karma.
I
I'll
should
give
probably
you
spend some
later.
karma on this. Do I have to declare it ahead of time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to spend karma.
Okay.
I did say I was going to try some dumb shit. I don't know if I mentioned that, but
It
I
said
said
human
it was
tank
dumb.
because I had him selected, but I'm actually
Well, I
rolling
did get
for
a
Jack.
green.
Didn't think it would work.
All right.
7.
Okay.
But when I say I spend karma, that means I have to spend at least 20, right?
Yes.
No, 10. 10 is
yeah, I'm sorry, 10. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Let me look at that. Where's the universal table?
I have derailed the adventure. You're welcome.
81 gets you a yellow.
81?
On typical, yes.
That's a lot of karma.
I have the UT up in front of me.
Do I really need to go that high? 2 yellow? You know what?
I have a bad feeling.
I mean, apparently the GM is taking pity on me because I have way more karma than I thought I was going to have.
Yeah, you started with 150.
So I'm going to go ahead and spend. Yeah, I'm going to spend. I need what, 80 something?
81 gets you a yellow.
Okay, so I have to spend in 10, so I'll spend 30.
Okay.
And that will give me an 87.
All right. So that puts you up to your yellow. You can't go up to a red.
Yep. And I'm down to 120 karma.
Okay. As these guys learned last session, my villains also have karma to spend.
Oh dear.
So,
oh no.
We have bumped up to a red.
Oh no.
And as the body of John Doe falls from the height of 5 feet back into the bed, from behind you guys in the doorway, you hear the voice of Pazuzu.
Oh no.
That was a dirty fucking trick.
Uh-oh. I turn and look.
You turn and look, and it's Bombshell now that has these black veins that are now protruding out of her flesh and her ample bosom. And Bombshell is now possessed. And I think with it being 10 o'clock, we should probably make this our cliffhanger for next session. And we shall see what happens.
So glad I joined the campaign, guys.
Wow. That was a great cliffhanger, I gotta say.
Well done, everyone.
Welcome to the campaign, Jeffrey. Hope you survived the experience.
Yep.
I'm not worried about really surviving so much.
That was an X-Men quote. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just that she's got incredible regeneration. So, good luck
that means no matter how much
getting rid of him again.
Pazuzu's gonna love those powers.
For the record, Father, we never touched Jack.
True, we didn't touch him.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We didn't touch him.
No all right, well, we didn't do a whole lot of dice rolling, but I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Oh yeah, do we get any karma for this?
I'll go ahead and toss a little bit of karma your way. We have at least relieved John Doe, or Judas as we now know him, of the demon, but now he's gone elsewhere.
I gotta admit, when you said he was 5'3" with claws, I thought you were going in a completely different direction.
Same. And then when I saw the claw marks, I'm like, wait, 4 claws?
Nah.
Wait a second.
After I said all of that, I was like, oh, they think this is Wolverine now.
Yeah.
But then you described the other voice as being this sort of wimpy guy, and it's like,
honestly,
doesn't sound like Logan.
Right.
The direction you've been going as a GM with all this, I was thinking it was Freddy Krueger. Because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
All right. So for tonight, we'll get 75 karma points that you can add on to your character sheets for now. There will certainly be more to come in the next episode. So
75, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So 195.
And you can adjust that on your character sheet. It'll keep track of that for you.
Okay.
Oh
my goodness. And it was exactly what I was afraid of too. And I stood all the way in the back. But no, somebody had to kick the demon out.
All right, guys. See y'all next episode.
All right.
We'll see you.
That was really fun. Thank you.
All right, good.
Yeah, that
good
was
night.
fantastic.